So every single day when we wake up, we're blessed with a brand new day to live, a brand new, opportunity to kind of make an imprint on the world and let the world make an imprint on us as well.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's up? What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Hey Mark, the podcast where I'm Mark, get to have open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development. The reason I started this podcast is just to kind of alleviate some of the suffering that's happening out there in silence for the people out there that are kind of like, not really knowing which words to use to express what they're going through, don't know who to talk to, how to start the conversation, etc. I want to try and help some of that suffering that's happening out there in silence and help you understand that no matter what it is you are going through in life, life can and will get better for you, and you're not alone, no matter what. And so, because of this, I kind of like to talk not just about, actually, a lot of the times the main thing I talk about is philosophy, and I either root it in philosophical study and I kind of cite sources like I did last episode talking about amor fati, or sometimes it's a lot more, I guess, diluted with my own philosophies or ideas about these things. But basically a lot of the time I'm just talking about different ideas or concepts, different ways that you can kind of change your mindset or perspective so that you understand that, like I said, no matter what it is you're going through, you're not alone. And so today I kind of wanted to speak about another philosophical concept because I enjoyed speaking about amor fati and falling in love with your fate. And if you didn't listen to that episode, I recommend you go back and listen to it, or maybe just search up other things about that, maybe different YouTube videos. You don't have to listen to my content, just go out and listen to content about that, and I'm sure that it will give you a brand new perspective on life that'll help you out. But the next one I want to speak to you about is called Memento Mori. It's another Stoic philosophy or philosophical idea that came from the Stoics that basically means remember that you're mortal. Memento Mori. Remember that you're mortal, and more specifically, remember that you're going to die. And maybe, I guess, one of the things that it could kind of, the way that this kind of comes into, your benefit is not just remembering that you're going to die because that's something that you should fucking do in general, because it is, but it's a humbling kind of idea or concept to wrap your head around. And it should even be taken a step further. A lot of the time we should think about this on a daily basis. Thinking about, the fact that life is so fragile. We all know that. And if you don't know about how fragile life is, you're very blessed. That's a privilege. But most of us have kind of, incurred the loss of a family member, the loss of a family pet maybe, or just understand that, life is so fragile. It's something that can be gone in the blink of an eye. And so every single day when we wake up, we're blessed with a brand new day to live, a brand new, opportunity to kind of make an imprint on the world and let the world make an imprint on us as well. There's so many people that have passed away in their sleep, whether it's due to sickness or drug abuse or whatever it is. And so for that reason, just the fact that we wake up every single day is a blessing. Ryan Holiday, because he's kind of the main modern Stoic, he kind of talks about, you're basically living on borrowed money. You're living on the bank's money. And every single day, it's like kind of if you were to be at a casino and kind of, say you're playing blackjack, every single day that you wake up is kind of like the dealer giving you one more chip to play with, one more hand to play with every single day. It's a blessing. It's borrowed time. And so every single day, if we remember, hey, we're mortal. When we go to bed at night, this could be my last night. This could be it. If you think about that every single day and you think, today was my last day, the next morning when you do wake up, if you do have that privilege, you're waking up from a sense of gratitude. You're waking up from a sense of, I do have the privilege of being alive today. Not, oh, fuck, I have to wake up and go to work. It's, oh, I get to get out of bed today. I have the opportunity to go and make a living. I have the opportunity to go out and make an impact on my community. I have the opportunity to make not only my life better, but future generations of my family. I have the ability to improve their state of life, or state of mind, or just kind of quality of life, I guess would be a better way to explain it. Understanding that every single morning we're given a chance. We're given the opportunity. We're not, it's not like we have to go through this life. We get to go through this life. A lot of people are robbed of that privilege, and we are given that privilege every single day. So when you go to bed at night, remind yourself, this could very well have been my last day. And then not only does it make you a lot more grateful and a lot more, understanding of the privilege that we have to wake up inside with food in our fridge and a roof over our head and clothes on our body, but understand as well, Memento Mori means that, if you were to die today, how do you want to be remembered? This goes on to kind of an idea of legacy, or I guess that pretty much sums it up well. Yeah, legacy of how you want to be remembered when you leave this earth. If the conversation that you last had with your mother was the last conversation that you had with your mother, how would she feel about that? How would you feel about that? If you were to go, or if she were to go. And then the same could be said about anybody. It doesn't just have to be your mother. It could be your father, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your boss, your coworkers, the random person you see at the shopping market or the grocery store. Obviously they don't know that much about you, and they might not remember you with full detail, but how do you want every single person that you react with to remember you? How do you want to kind of feel about the way that you've left an impression on other people as well? I know specifically with myself, it could be years later. I still have these weird fucking memory flashbacks of conversations that I've had with people in maybe elementary school, high school, where I think about, fuck, I shouldn't have been a dick to that person. Now imagine if we could have that retrospective kind of, thought pattern about every single interaction that we have in life. Thinking about, this could very well be my last day. And so I'm going to live like it. And that doesn't mean the old YOLO phrase that we fucking heard growing up, like, you only live life once, or this could be my last day, so why does it fucking matter what I do? It's coming from the approach that you do only live once. So treat your fucking life as the fragile thing that it is. Give it respect. Respect yourself, respect your body, respect the people around you, respect your environment that you're living in, not just the trees and the bees, but the fucking room that you wake up in every single day. Is it a mess, or do you tidy it? Do you have respect for it? Remembering that you're going to die can be a very scary thing if you haven't thought about it. But if you meditate on the fact that you are going to die every single day and you live accordingly, then the idea that you're going to die is more comfortable. It's not this scary thing, because in my eyes, I guess the two biggest fears about dying are the fact that we don't know what's going to happen next, and also the fact that, I guess the condition you're leaving the rest of the world in when you leave this world. Those are kind of two biggest fears that I can wrap my head around when it comes to death. And the first one, there's no way that we can actually know. There really is. And, I've had friends that have died and come back to life, and I've asked them this question, and I'm sure you guys have probably heard about this idea, like, quite a lot in this world, which is, like, the idea of what happens after life. And everyone kind of has their own idea on what might happen, or maybe you think that nothing will happen. I don't know. I don't fucking have the answers, and if you're telling yourself that you do have the answer, you're fucking lying to yourself to try and make yourself comfortable, because at the end of the day, none of us know. So the idea of what's going to happen after life, I try and understand that there's no way to understand that. And so the same way that I don't try and focus on things that are outside of my control, I don't try and conceptualize what happens after my death, because I don't think it's understandable for a human being. That being said, the other side of the fear of death, like I was saying, is the condition that you're leaving, the people that you love, the environment, etc., the condition that you're leaving the world in when you do pass. And so when I think about Memento Mori, and I think about, I don't have any kids right now, but if I were to have kids, if I were to die today, what world am I leaving them in? What world am I leaving future generations? And what skills have I taught the people around me to kind of go through their life better? These are all different ideas that come to me when I think of, my fears of death. And the more I meditate on this, and the more I journal about death, and the more I think about my own mortality, the more it's kind of guided me into a way that has, put a lot of my problems that I face on a day-to-day basis in a better perspective in terms of what actually is a problem in my life. And as well, it's kind of put it into perspective on how I should react to others when they're dealing with their problems, because that is usually, to be 100% vulnerable, that's when I lack the most amount of patience or empathy or sympathy a lot of the times, is when people freak out because of their problems, and I look at that as a non-issue or a non-problem, and I think that they're overreacting. Or, I think that, to kind of cut off my own random tangent, I think that just thinking about your own mortality will let you live in a more sympathetic way, a more empathetic way. It gives you a more well-rounded perspective on the problems that you're dealing with. It lets you treat people better. It lets you treat yourself better and give yourself more respect as well. But ultimately, it's a very humbling ideology or idea to wrap your head around. So when I'm telling you to sit down and meditate about or journal about your mortality or your death, I'm not trying to do it because I'm trying to bring you down. In fact, I'm trying to do it so that you, become more comfortable with the fact that you're mortal and you are going to die, because fuck, we all are. And if you're not, coming to terms with that, then that's fucking grounds to be put in a mental hospital or a fucking insane asylum, because we all are going to fucking die. So you should start to kind of, at least think about that. And when I'm saying to think about it, to continue what I was saying earlier, when I am telling you to think about that, I'm not telling you to think about it in a negative way. I'm telling you to think about it in terms of how can you, make yourself a better person because of that, and B, be able to soak up all of the great things that we have in life and be grateful for them, and be able to not worry about these things and actually live in the moment that you're living in right now, and to be present. So that is what I believe Memento Mori really truly does mean. And maybe you guys have some ideas on that as well. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, I want you to comment below what you think of that, because I'm really excited to kind of hear about that from people that haven't read maybe a little bit of Stoic philosophy, or for people that have read more about Stoic philosophy than me, that maybe know more about Memento Mori. I'm excited to hear what you guys think about it. If you listen to the podcast version of this, please just DM me on Instagram. Let's start this conversation up. If you're watching the video, the Instagram will be at the bottom of the screen right here. But if you listen to the podcast version, it'll be in the show notes, and you can check it out. It's at Mark D. Henriksen. Reach out to me and let's chat. I'm open to kind of like hearing your ideas and opinions on these concepts, or maybe you'll be able to suggest a new philosophy for me to read that'll be able to help give me more perspectives. But that's all I got for today. So in terms of the Stoic philosophy, we've covered Amor Fati and now Memento Mori as well. These are kind of cool concepts that I like to remind myself about, because I think that it gives me perspective to grow a lot more and hopefully treat the people around me better. But also it gives me more perspective to just enjoy my life more, and I get a lot more happiness and fulfillment out of my life after reading about these things and after contemplating them and thinking about them and meditating about them. So I hope that you guys kind of got a new perspective from this. I hope that this kind of hopefully entertained you as well. If you did enjoy this, please do share the show, help me grow. But that's all I got going on today. Go out and have a good week, a good month, and a good year for the rest of fucking 2021. And that's all I got. Thank you so much. Much love and peace out. Let's fucking go, baby.